Okay, are we working this time? Can't hear myself. Okay. Right. Working this time. Can't hear myself. I really don't know what happened then. It just started to play things and then just dropped right out, the picture. Everything was coming through okay and all that sort of thing, so I don't know what happened there. So I'll have to go back and delete that other one, otherwise people are going to get confused. Actually, I wonder if I can do it now. Just in fact, your videos live and there they go. How many minutes? And that's it. Delete forever. Oh, come on. What's wrong with this thing? Good. Okay. Right. As I say, I really don't know what happened then. So I was nowhere near the computer or anything like that. Okay. So let's get started on this Sony CF-550. Last week we managed to undo some of the screws. This morning I spent about 4 hours trying to get this out without breaking anything, and it did come out eventually, so that's a good thing. The door, I mean, it's just really just a, what am I, wrong camera. Yeah, it's really just these two tabs on the side which hold it in, then it hinges down the bottom there. Nothing on that side. And then there's something down here, and that looks like it's been broken. Oh, maybe not. Don't start doing that again. Yeah, so these two push in, but where is it? Yeah, this one had been broken off, and it looks like it's been glued at some stage, especially on there. I don't know whether you can see on the camera or not, but there's muck down in there. So it's been broken a long time by the looks of it. So I found this in the bottom of the case, fortunately. So I'll try and glue that back on, but this does have a crack in it in the window. There, you can see that. Yeah. So as I've said before, I bought this for $1 at the tip shop, and I think they were using it as a radio, but one of the channels was playing up, so they got rid of it. Yeah. So, and I've also done a list of the electrolytic capacitors, and as you can see, there's 20 there, 6 those. Yeah, all the others are just 1. So I'm going to have to order a lot of these, especially I think, yeah, the 470s we don't have. We're waiting on those for another radio, aren't we? Okay, so today what I'm going to try and concentrate is getting this cassette mechanism out. Now, I don't know, how can I do this? Show you. Let's move my phone. And yeah, so okay, so down in here is the cassette mechanism. It's got a floppy belt on it, but it does actually turn. I don't know whether you can see the flywheel turning or not. Probably not. Is that better? Oh, yeah. So I'm just turning the motor and the flywheel is turning, but it's so loose that it's not going to actually drag anything around. And the buttons are actually locked in place, so I can't move the buttons, but it's so gummed up that nothing's going to lock anyway. And yeah, that does not want to move those things, so yeah. And apparently these are the tension on the flywheel and this belt is quite critical. And there's another wheel down there which turns around, and that has to be tensioned up properly as well against the belt. I don't know why this has the gears on it. I think they must have used it from another radio or something like that that they were building at the time. And that turns around quite easily, but the other stuff down in there, it's just really gummed up with hardened grease, as to be expected, because they made these from 1971 to the 550 was 1971 to 74 or something like that, and then the 550A, which is this, was 74 to 76 or 77, depending on what you read. And then there was the 550B, which is a little bit different internally, and it's got, instead of having a silver or brushed aluminium fascia on it, actually this is a solid piece of aluminium. Wow. Yeah. Is that plastic? That might be plastic. Might be wrong there. No, that looks like metal. No, it doesn't. There's a metal insert in there. Okay, yeah. I was thinking if that whole top was made out of metal or aluminium. Okay, so as far as I can see, there is one screw down in there. Focus, come on. There we go. So there's one screw down in there, and there's a screw on the other side in the cassette mechanism door. Now, this is going to be really hard because there's the tuner, this part, and this is the stereo decoder, the FM, and that's just a radio in there, so they've obviously pinched that out of something else. And yeah, then there's all this gunk and then there's the input board with the controls and the switching and the microphones and the line in and out. Okay, so I'll do the inside the door part first, because yeah, that one inside it can hold the thing, and I don't know how I'm going to do this. It's all in total shambles. I'm trying to avoid desoldering anything at this stage. Where's the screw? Yeah, it's up in there. So it's that little screw in there. Okay. Now, to get the other screw that was really stuck last week, I had to drill that one out, and there was a couple of others which were pretty bad as well, or pretty tight. But I guess for a 55-year-old radio, yes, remember that's a long screw, that one. They must have put that in there for a reason. Okay, I'll take you over the other camera and bring you down. I'm going to block things off as I do this, I'm pretty sure. Try not to get my head in the way. And I meant to bring the other, oh, that's all right. So it's going to, oh, it's too tight. Now, where did I put them? Yep. Now, these screwdrivers are pretty amazing. They're really tough on the shafts, so they don't break there on the cross, and they've got wood and resin handles, which means they're sort of non-slip, so they've got a bit of a texture to them. There for the car, really. And I did wipe them off, but and that's loose, good. And hopefully, I don't know what's holding in the cassette mechanism, but that, yeah. Right, so we've got, no, it's loose. Yeah, we haven't got another one on the other side. And that isn't quite out the way, but it's over that. Going to just come out. Yeah, good. That's the simplest thing on this thing, I think. There's something stopping it in this corner, I think. Oh no, there it is. It's out, and it's absolutely filthy. Right, as I was starting to say before, apparently you have to get a genuine or a really good belt for it. So I'm not going to change the belt today. Actually, the head looks spectacularly good. Really shiny. Normally on older cassette mechanisms or tape recorders, the head goes dull or in some cases starts to rust. So I'm really quite happy about that. Now, why isn't this engaging? Let's show you around here. Yeah. So, as we push this down, it's just not locking. Or it's only partially locking. And that is rock solid. Is that the record one? Don't think so. And that should be. That will be the record one. It might be the stop one actually there. No. And seems to be this one. Oh, geez, that's hard. Yeah, that's the stop button. Right. Now, how am I going to clean that out? That making a big mess. Right, first thing we'll do is clean all the dust off of it. Okay. Just thinking here. Okay, we've got plenty of dust on the other side too, muck. You can probably see all that furry stuff. There's your problem. This is all full of muck down inside there. Right. That one's moving quite easily. Now, I was going to show you the exploded diagram for this, but I'm not going to touch anything now on the computer in case it decides it doesn't like it. Now that's got to, now that is really really stiff in there. Okay, be very careful here. I'm getting some movement out of it. Not that one. Not that one. And that's the eject. That's definitely the record. Let's fast forward, play, yeah. See how slowly that's going back. So if I keep on doing that, it'll free up a bit. That's not even going halfway. Okay. I probably could. No, I won't take those off. That's going to be impossible to solder back on. Down in there. Could take that little board off, but I know it's only got 2 wires on it, so they're not in the way at the moment. Come on, yep. Okay, it wants to go this way. We've got a bunch of capacitors down inside there too. They're probably for the motor control. Did have it over before. What's going on? An interlock on it, probably not. I don't know why that. Okay. Not going down far enough to push the heads down. So that's down there. So it seems to be in the buttons. Now the outer one is locking or moving. This spring here. Okay. Is that an interlock for that? Yes. It's still not. Okay. Right, so that's an interlock there. So if the cassette door isn't closed with a cassette in it, it won't go down. So that, yeah, that goes into that. There's the stop button. But it's really stiff, isn't it? And it's still coming up slowly, slowly. Yeah, it stops. Okay. Right. Yeah, I've got all that crap down there too. Right, so clean this up down here. Oh, okay. All that tape has come off, or coming apart. That's fine, I can fix that easily enough. I've got some Kapton tape somewhere. I should have 2 rolls of it. Right. Okay. Now, what can I... Could spray some WD-40 in there, I guess, but it's out in the garage. And... yeah. Okay. Now, what do we have connected in here? Obviously got the 4 speakers, the 2 microphones, and yeah, that's about it. I think. That's all that's on this side. And oops, careful. Pull all this masking tape off. Another piece there. Right. Now, and it's got all the colours and where everything goes on the schematic, and it's, and of course, being Sony, it's got a circuit board thing in colour. Don't know why National didn't publish ones like that. I mean, they probably did for their technicians, but and this is a belt off of one of the reel-to-reels, which I'm having a look at the moment, and yeah, it's just coming apart. Right. Now where do they connect to? So let's try and put this back in. And these things are built like a tank, so I'm not too worried about that. Is that the speakers going right across there? Orange, grey. Okay, goes down into there. Oh no, it's the headphone socket. Okay, so, and where's the speakers? Is that, yeah, that's the speaker, I think. Red and black. And we want black and white. Okay, so that is fairly straightforward. Red, what do they do? They go up here. All right. Now, what I'm going to do first, where is the board? There's the switchboard for that side, and I want this volume control board. It's down there, okay. So we'll try and separate these so it doesn't short. Just want to see if it works with it disassembled like this. It's probably a silly idea, but okay. Yep. Here's our 4-pin plug. Yes, halfway yeah, I'm not sure whether it was part way through the A or just the 550. They dropped the 4-pin plug. But this is useful because it's on other radios, Sony radios I have, and a couple of tape recorders which I have. Now I'll just make sure that this isn't touching anything. What can I use? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it does work. Good. Right, so I'll just take a picture of the headphone and speaker wires. And there's the headphone wires. And speaker wire and speaker wire. Right. I don't know whether you can hear the droning in the background, but the idiot next door has been driving a little bobcat type tractor around, digger, and he's covered 90% of his backyard with sheds which he's building. And yeah, I mean, it was, the tractor drone was going on for about 5 days earlier this year, and yeah, and my mouth has been super dry the last week or so. I don't know why, and it's all bright sunny and blue sky outside. All of a sudden it's been really dark and heavy cloud all day. And they said there'll be thunderstorms later this afternoon. So it was 13 here today, maximum. And then on this coming Thursday it's going to be 30. And then the next day it's going to be, on Friday it's going to be 16. So, rightio. How do we untangle all this? I haven't even touched this since last week, and yet it's all tangled up. Oop. Right, so yeah, okay. So our solder is going to be like that, is it? I suppose it's quite old solder. Right, so the yellow, orange and grey are the headphones. And these should be the speakers for the right side. So these are the right speakers, red and black. Such big pads on these connections. And what did I say? Orange, red and black. Oh, black and white was the other one, wasn't it? Yeah, so I don't know what he's doing in there. But he has big barneys with his wife over the backyard, and they don't have any front yard. So as my friend said, I don't know why he just doesn't move. And now, so these two go across to the tuner. So I do need a photo of that. What's Jack saying? Because there's a great big heart across half of the feed. Yes, Jack. It's a real mess. Yeah. Okay, I'll take some photos of this. So this is the radio wires, orange and red. And then there's another brown one which goes down there. Okay. Right. Let's see if that makes opening this board up any easier. No. And that should hinge over that way. There we go. So we can get to the capacitors now, or some of them anyway. Down there is going to be a bit difficult, but yeah. So apparently the transistors in these are failing too. So really silicon ones. They get very, very noisy and fail. Right, there's no time like the present to start, I guess. Wish I hopefully my head isn't getting in the way. Yeah, I'm just looking at the capacitor situation. Yeah, that's going to be hard. There's that one down underneath all these wires. Yeah. And there's hand knots and things like this in here. And then looks like it's sort of a transition one. So these, we've got some cable ties. We've also got some hand tied ones down in here. The string and things like that. Yeah, those two down in there are going to be the hardest ones, I think. Yeah, that one. They're both 470s. And there's another 470 over there. And these are 2000s, which I don't have that size. I do have a few 2000s, but they're high voltage ones. These are apparently 12 volts. But they are good quality, well, reasonable quality Nichicon ones. Okay. Right. Now, let's take, yep. Hopefully, actually need another person here, don't I, to move all this. Tape coming off everywhere. Okay. Now, I forgot microphones, didn't I? Apparently Neil Finn recorded his early work on these things. Okay, so they're coming up from there. So that's that one. So there's plenty of wire on the microphones. And this is this one. Yeah, okay. So we're going to have to unsolder these. And I can remove the case. Okay, back to my camera. Good. Right. Okay. So I could probably recap this without taking it all apart and desoldering these wires, but it's going to take a lot of heat to get on. Oh no. So that's one off. Yeah. Don't stick to that one as well. And so that's one microphone off. Such a lump of solder on this one. Ooh, okay. Good. Right. So yeah, that big lump of solder is just a quarter of what was on there. In fact, I might use that again. So, right. Now, theoretically, I should be able to take the case away. Why are you stuck to something? That one's free. No, that's the other. It can't be that. So that one is. Oh, it's taped to that. What a nuisance. Rid of that tape. And try again. Hooray! Almost. That's it. So, this is it inside. 4 speakers. All the disintegrated foam. Pretty filthy down the bottom there. Although not as bad as some I've seen. And yeah, so it's a bit corroded there. And yeah. Good. That's quite heavy, that. So maybe that is aluminium. That is aluminium, you know. I thought it was plastic, but it maybe, I don't know. Really looks like aluminium. Looks like it's been machined out for the volume controls and tone control. Yeah, that's aluminium. Huh. Wow. No wonder they kept it in production so long. All right. Okay. Well, that wasn't quite as bad as what I thought it would be. Yeah. I'll leave everything. I'll try and leave everything else. Yeah, why is that? Okay, we've got that one wire, one coax thing down there. And the rest of the wires are up the top. It's the motor control wires. motor power. Yeah, and it goes right inside here. What a nuisance. Obviously weren't thinking about serviceability on this, were they? I guess it was the first stereo, or one of the first stereo portables ever. Okay. Right. So that one and that one, and it's a 10 at 16. At 6.3. This one. 47. These 100s, I think. And 100 at 10. Yeah, I think they're 100 at 10. That shouldn't be in there. So that's 470 at 16. We wanted a 470 at 25 or something. No, 10. Maybe. We can do one of the 470s. Right. There's my 10s. I'm sure I had them out. That's 220. Okay, so ten at 16, only one. 10 at 10, we need 10. I can't believe there's only one 10 at 16, but anyway. There's a few odd ones in there. Right. Ten at 16. Yes. This is tiny, this one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. Now I'm beginning to get a migraine, I think. One of the visual disturbance type ones. So I'll carry on for the moment if I can see what I'm doing. No, okay. So negatives that way. Yeah, I'm beginning to lose my sight. Can't really see what I'm doing. Where's my pliers? Oh, these will do. These are too far apart, believe it or not. Yes. Don't dare touch the computer. Otherwise, as I say, I would have shown the circuit. It's from Sony. Okay. One down, 49 to go. Definitely getting a migraine. see if I can read any of these. Not at the moment. But all the sort of like an old light bulb filament, which sort of goes right in the centre of the eye, and then it, as it clears after about 5 minutes, it slowly moves across and out the way, and then it just ends up in the top corner. So what I might do is, because I don't want to move this around too much, I can't read any of the values from this side. Maybe I'll move around. Why? Delilah. Yeah. I can't see what these are. That's a 1. I don't think I have any 1s. And this is going to be secret. So it's a yeah. 10 at 16. Is that? Read the voltage on it. 16. Yeah. 10 at 16 again. So yeah, the circuit diagram I've got is a very early one, and it says on it, must have been very, very early, because it says on it the missing bits are coming in the next couple of months. So they may well have changed some of the values. But the other one I could download, that was so blurry and such a poor copy, really low, you know, it was like 50 pages at, how big, I think it was about it was about 1.1 megabytes. And the other one was 24 megabytes. So, yeah, okay. What did I do with those other ones? No. These ones are they're 330s. Have we got any 330s on here? No. 33. 3.3, so I'll put these away. Let's see, 3 are they? 330. Sorry, I'm not particularly chatty today, am I? 330 at 25. 330 at 25. And what was it? 10 at 16. Okay. So my visual disturbance is moving out the way. I'll be able to see again soon. Slowly. Don't know what causes it. Too much. Used to get it with alcohol all the time, which is part of the reason I don't drink, because the preservative in it used to set off migraines, so that was pretty not very good. Okay. And it's often things from days before. On Friday night, I was down in Melbourne, and I won't tell you, I might as well tell you about the trip I had home, the horrible trip I had home, although it wasn't the worst one I've had. Yeah, but I stopped in at because I had about 2 hours spare, so I went to IKEA and picked up a couple of bits and pieces, and I had dinner there. And is that a 100? At 100. I can't read the voltage. Well, I'll do this one first, seeing as I can see it just about. So that one is 10 at 16. And okay. Yeah, so I had the Swedish meatballs. Sorry, Swedish people, if there's any out there watching this. But yeah. But these days I don't eat very much, and I struggled with 8 meatballs, whereas before I used to be able to have the 12, and then if I'd buy a packet to bring home, I would eat, maybe 16 meatballs. But they don't taste this. Well, they might taste the same, but they've got a different texture to what they used to have. So I think they're made by a different company somewhere along the line. Yeah, I've forgotten which way it goes. Is that? Yeah. So bring this in a bit closer. Yeah. Then I went to the car club meeting, which doesn't start till 7:45, and I thought I would be able to catch the train, and that one is blocked partially. come on. Why aren't you going in? You're in the hole. No, that just bent the leads. It's not going through for some reason. Okay, where's my solder stuff? I've had it here. Yes, so I went to the meeting and I checked on the train timetables and V line and all that sort of thing for replacement buses. So they're doing a lot of work still, and so I thought I'd be able to catch not the last suburban train into town, but the second last, and that was going to be at 9:20 or something like that. And of course the trains, I get to the station and the last train has gone through, and so I went back up to the main road and waited 15 minutes for a replacement bus, which was virtually empty, and but there was 5 coming the other way with people on them. So where did I put the solder wick? Not going well today, is it? Why? Yeah, you can see light through that hole. The leg of the capacitor just isn't going down. What can I use? This one. Yeah, it is partly blocked halfway. Must be a little bit of something in there. And of course I get to the V-line station, Southern Cross, like everyone calls it Spencer Street still. Why is that blocked? There we are. Yeah, very strange that. And the 8 minutes past 10 had gone, but it had been replaced with coaches, and so I had to wait around till 8 minutes past 11. And then, fortunately, they put on enough coaches for once, and so I didn't get. So that went. The coach I was on expressed up here, but it still didn't get up here till 1:45 in the morning. Then I couldn't find a taxi and had to walk home, which took an hour. So I got home at 1:45 or something like that, which I wasn't too happy about. Gee, there's a lot of solder on some of these joints. And yeah, and I'm sort of at the top of the hill, so it's a long walk up the hill. I'll have to do. Yeah. So I wasn't too happy yesterday morning, and then because of course I wake up at the same time every morning, don't I? Whether I go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, which is my regular time, and yeah, it just didn't. I couldn't get back to sleep in the morning, so yeah, and then we managed to bend a pin on the ABS unit and just couldn't get the multi-connector to go on the pins. So tomorrow I'll have to go down to Dandenong, which is over the other side of Melbourne, and it's about 175 kilometres or something, according to Google Maps or Apple Maps. And yeah, but there is actually a rover for wrecking for once, because they don't normally get wrecked now. A couple of years ago they were quite common around as wrecked ones, but these days they're getting very rare. Never seen a wagon in the wreckers though. Yeah, okay. So this one, the negative goes that direction, away. Yeah. Really got to find some solder wick. Where could it be? It'll be out in the kitchen. I wonder where I've got a couple of rolls of it. Might have to go out to the kitchen and have a look for it. Or the other roll. I know I've got lots of stuff out there. Everything falling down. Okay, I'm going out to the kitchen to have a look for some solder wick, and I'll be back in about a couple of minutes. I'll grab another drink while I'm out there. Okay, I'll be back. Yeah. I've got two other ones as well. This is the Chem Tools one, made in USA. No clean wick. Okay, no cleaning on it. And where was I? Up here, yeah. Put a bit of flux on the things. Yes, I'm really annoyed that JK isn't selling JB Weld anymore. Just hoping that Electrolytics still sell it. Okay. Now it was negative this way, I think. Yeah, this circuit board has the everything on it. The screen printed onto it. So yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, not too bad. This is funny, after the migraine, I can see really clearly. What else is there? I just can't read anything on these. It's a 1. What's this one? I can't even get to read that. There we go. So 10 at 16 again. That's odd. So lights flickering yet again. They're building a new substation down the road and since we had a real windstorm a couple of it's probably 6-7 weeks ago now, a really bad one, and it's always windy up here, and yeah, the power went off for a good few hours during the day. And yeah, the lights have been flickering ever since. So I don't know what's going on. We've had a few sort of half-hour outages too. Yeah, where's my wick gone? Here we go. And of course the main issue with these printed circuit boards with the screen printing on them is that sometimes they get the screen printing wrong, don't they? Or it doesn't match up with the circuit diagrams. I've even seen a couple over the years where it's like a proper photo or whatever of the board printed, and yeah, it's disagreed with the actual reality of it. That's that Marantz amplifier, which I'm still trying to fix after a couple of years. Keep on giving up on it because it keeps on shorting every time I turn it on, replacing all the parts, and then it shorts. So I can't trace what is actually shorting on it. And I replaced all the usual suspects. I think, so what was that? Was 100 or something, wasn't it? 100, or was that 10 volts? I can't tell. 10 something. So 100, and it's 150 volts or something. Is it 150? I think there was. 100. Where's the 100s? 100 at 10 volts. Hundred at 6.3. Yeah, that can be a 10 volter. Oh, 5:45 already. I think I'll go another half an hour. Because something happened at the very beginning of the thing, so. And 100, 16, 100 at 25. That one. Got plenty of 100s at 6.3 volts, but most of them are 10 volt, and there's no 116, 16. So 110 volts is going back in. Now I might play capacitor bingo actually and see what these are like. I'm pretty sure they're going to be, maybe they're not. Right. Well, not too bad. Yeah. The ESR is quite high. Is that another 12? Yeah. And that's still at a spec for, that's more than 10%. Yeah. So that's close to 30% out. 1.4 is quite high. Where's the other one? Yeah, this one's 13.5. So that's 35% out over, yeah, anything more than 10%. Have we died again? No. The phone I'm monitoring her on has just gone blank. Why can't I get the can't get any comments up, it doesn't matter. Okay. Right. So this is going to be, is that it there? Yeah, I would think so. There's the transistor. And that looks like a... No, it's on the same trace. Is that... Oh, okay. Looks like these two here. Yep. Yep. And which way is it? So negative south. Where did I just put the solder? There we are. Right. Cool down. Really need asbestos fingers for this, don't you? Come on. Okay. Virtually nothing on that one. I was expecting more. Still, oh yeah. They don't open enough. 100 at 10. At 10. And these are good Nichicon ones. These are the audio type ones. And some of these are not audio ones, but I'm not too worried because this is a radio cassette after all. It's not a hi-fi. And a pretty old one at that, at least 50 years old. Right. Okay. What else have we got access to easily? I'll do the other ones off camera, I've decided. Let's do them bit by bit in my own time. Gee, there's two down there, I'll have to do those. They're going to be very awkward. Ooh, wonder what that came off of. An insulator of some description, I'll have to look. It's got an exploder diagram on the clean manual. Now, can I see? Yeah, I can see those. Now, which way do they? So the negative, negative. These go to the microphone things, don't they? Okay. Yeah. That's the record wires. So that will need to be done, I think. Is that? Yeah, okay. That one and that one. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want Techmoan. Sorry. Why is it saying upcoming all of a sudden? Ugh. What is this thing doing today? Okay, not that anyone's watching at the moment. Okay. This is becoming a bit of a disaster, this live streaming. Yeah. This is going to be difficult. There's a lot of solder on this. I don't know. Better on that one, isn't it? Yep. And of course, yeah, it just goes black, doesn't it? Okay, we're up here. It's probably, yeah, still going to see the back of my hand. I suppose it's better than the top of my head. Ah, that's hot, hot, hot. We still haven't got the solder off. Ooh, that is really hot. That's what I remember about this wick. Transfers the heat really well, so this must be proper solder wick, not like the other one. I've got the other stuff at radio parts, 2 reels of it. Okay, almost. Ooh, ow, ow, ow. That is really hot. A lot of solder on this. And there's even more on the other one. Come on, you can do it. Okay, that's clear. And this one should be clear now. Yep. Okay. Let's wait for the capacitor to cool off a bit. Ow, that's still hot. I'll do the other one and then I'm giving up for the evening, I think. So I have to work out what tools I need to take tomorrow. Is this a tenet? Okay, that's a 0.47. Okay. It's an unusual value, isn't it? 0.47. Shouldn't have taken that out, should I? 47. 47. 470. 10. Now, have I got a 0.47 in that size? I've got the big valve 600 volt ones, but not 10 volt ones. No, don't. I'll have to order some, I think. Right. I was going to do the other one, but it's the same. Should have checked that before I pulled it out, shouldn't I? Only written one down, but yeah, 0.47. Okay. Well, yeah. And there's all of a sudden 3 people in. Right. I'm sorry, guys. And 4 people now. Everyone's flooding in. I think what I might do is change my time to a bit later. Yeah, I might start at 6 o'clock in the evening and run for 2 hours. And then go till 8 o'clock or something like that. Because a lot of people come in around about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So if you think that it would be a good idea starting at 6 o'clock, write a comment or something like that. Yeah. Okay, I'll continue on a little bit and I'll see what the ones in here are for the motor power supply. So I'm not really in the best state of health to do in the center ones in here, and let alone the ones underneath all that wiring down there. Yeah. So as you can see, it's a bit of a spaghetti down there. There's a lot of capacitors underneath all those wires. There's 3 underneath there. There's a couple right down the back. The big ones down there, but that would be easy. That one isn't too bad to access. But there's, half dozen underneath this group of wires. And there's a couple more up here. Yeah, it's capacitor city. There's over 50 electrolytics in this radio. Okay, right. So let's have a look at, there's my other solder wick that I was looking for. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in there. No. So let's have a look at in here. How do we get this off? And that's okay. Yeah. We've got 2. Got 2 screws down there, one underneath there. Fortunately, they've made a hole in the printed circuit board. In fact, Is that going to come out? You don't need to take that one out, but that one we do. Yeah, these nice non-slip vessel screwdrivers. So they do fit the screws rather nicely. I'm not buying another set of them for $150. These are for the car, really. That sort of fell down in there somewhere. Now, what have we got down the other end? Something is holding it this end. Oh, okay. Now it's just the board slotting in, and yeah, so that's that old tape, fibre tape. This is falling apart. Yeah, I'll need to put some other stuff on there. Yeah, don't know where the sticky tape bit went, the plastic. Right. Okay. So that's how you adjust the motor, apparently. So we don't get the different things mixed up. I'll test this one. And you might, yeah. Yeah, 30% out, so it's 100. Yeah, the ESR's not that bad. Alright, now let's do this board. Then I'll love you and leave you, as they say in the classics. Go across to there, yep. So north, negative is up. It's Sony branded. Sometimes they used Elna for the boards. I know all the, where's my little, I haven't used that for a while. It's in the other room. Yeah, I'll have to go and get it. So it's not going to sit where I can reliably solder it or desolder it. So I'll be back in 1 second. heater off. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Now, how can I do this? Right. Yeah, it looks all right. So it's those two up the top. Yeah, sorry I can't make the board more visible. Yeah, where do I put the... Yep. So... This is much thinner actually. Is that the wind out there? Actually it is. Blowing an absolute gale out there. So we might get a storm after all. It was clear about 5 minutes ago, now it's clouded over again. That's spring in Victoria for you. As I said earlier, it was only 13 here today, and then on Thursday it's going to be 30, and then on Friday it's going to be 16. Yeah, is that all right? Feels loose. Yeah, it's the top one. It's not coming out. There we go. And yep, so that's that way, and that's 220 at 10 volts. $220 at 16. And yeah. No, that's thunder. They were right for once. Don't think we're going to get, we might get some rain out of it. Desperately need the rain here. Poor old farmers are thinking about ploughing in their crops, and it's not going to work, is it? And or at least making hay and grass, making hay instead of selling their crops. It's funny because 3 years ago, oh ouch, that wasn't supposed to happen. The clips suddenly closed on my finger. We're flooding everywhere, and it's thunder again. Had too much rain. And they said we were going to have a wet spring too, and we haven't. Right. Just answer this. Hi, Mark. Yeah, it's just arrived here, so it was sunny 15 minutes ago. Blue skies, clear when I went out for the solder wick. Yeah. Okay, that's that one done. Now, it's not particularly straight, but I don't care. And the other one, it's a 6.3 there. Yeah, I just have to have a bit of a an early dinner, I think, and then have my dinner before 6 o'clock. We usually have dinner around about 6 anyway, so a little bit early won't hurt. Okay. Whoa, that's really strong. I don't know whether I can point you out the window, but you can see anything. It's going to drop out because of the connection on the camera. I don't know whether you can see that. Just about. Okay. It's not too. I think we've. Yeah, I think the. Yeah. I always worry about that eucalyptus outside my window. There's no real branches overhanging the house, but there has been a couple of smashed tiles as when branches have fallen down. And okay, Thank you. I am still here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, these mini HDMI cables. Yeah, as I said before, it was only 13 up here today, even though they predicted 15 or something like that. And where I am up here, sort of towards Melbourne on the top of the hill, it's often much more like Melbourne temperatures. Yeah. What was I doing? Was I doing that one? Yeah, it's down there. And where's the negative? Okay, the negative points south. Oh, yuck. Just got... That thing is practically useless. Where's my... Just got a big lump of flux on my finger. Yes, it's probably heading your way, Mark. Yeah, look, it's all goos everywhere. This is J-Car. Mind you, I haven't kept it in the fridge, and I haven't for the last 12 months, and I haven't, and it's about 3 years old, so still doing pretty well. I do have a sort of container of this stuff too. Where is it? Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Come on, stay in focus. There we go. That's really old, that stuff. That's about 6 years old or something. Okay, let's chat more work. Sound like my teacher again, don't I? Let's chat more work. Just have to say that all the time. It's hot. Do this one again. I think that one's bent over actually. Is it? No. That'll do. If I can get that out. Yep. Yeah, 220 at 6.3. Um, 220 at 16, which is betterer. You can usually go up maybe to twice the old voltage, but you don't want to go any higher. Otherwise, yeah, it just puts too much strain on the the other components. Yeah. I'll get this in here without looking. Can I get underneath there? Yeah. There's one in, both in. Good. Yep. Is that one done? And this one down here. That's strange. That's really long. And it's glued. Oh, I see. Don't know whether you can see that or not. This has got the leg which goes down behind. Yeah, they're coils, those. Thought they were diodes originally, but no, they're coils. Yeah, and the other one is right over here. So I have to be very, very careful about that. 10 at 16. 10 at 16. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you want to upgrade the capacitors when you know they're in a power supply or something like that. Now, is this going to unglue gracefully? No. I really don't want to break this coil. Impossible to replace. Well, it's more of an inductor, I think. It's going up a couple of voltages on a computer power supply or something like that is probably a good idea. Longevity, but yeah, in low voltage things, only should only really go up one value, I guess. Of course, the very small ones, which they don't make anymore. And it's got a Panasonic transistor in it there. Yeah, it's got the Panasonic symbol on it. So, I know they were using each other's components very early on. Yeah. Don't like those. Yeah, see what they've done there. Okay. Now, I don't have nothing. Where does that go? So that goes to that. point there. Yeah, so it goes to that one. And that big blob of solder on it. I think sometimes one person did a certain value of capacitors, another person did another set of capacitors, another person did resistors of a certain value as it went down the production line. And then little things like this, they used to farm out, and then eventually they farm out all the manufacturer of Walkmans. And then they managed to mechanise it. So it's a real cottage industry, everyone at home making Walkmans in Japan. Good. Ow, ow, that's hot. It's not actually out. Okay. Yeah, it's quite calm outside now. It was just a squall. Only lasted about 5 minutes. Must have been a cool change coming through or something. This solder wick really transmits the heat. Would use my solder sucker, the electric one, but why isn't that coming off of there? Needs a new tip on it. No? I mean, that moved then. Bernie's time. That's got to be it. Oh, it's bent over, that's why. No, finally. Okay. And this one down. It would be under those wires, wouldn't it? So that goes, so that big blob there. Be yeah, really hard to work out where this goes on the bottom. So it's across there. Yeah, it must be that big blob there. Down there. Yeah, that blob there. Okay. Let's do that one. It's got to be one of those three across there. Right. Gonna work. Stuck in the top. Okay, might chop the bit of that off. Yeah. Stay there. I can manipulate it a bit. So don't want to burn the wires. Getting too hot, the wires. How can I do this? A little better. Yeah, it was really windy coming home on Friday night on the bus. Bus was getting blown around everywhere. I really wish that they wouldn't suddenly put coaches on or replacement buses on it, you know, 2 services early. I know they've got to do the work, but this is really so much solder on these boards in the places you want to. Yeah, still haven't got down to the ow. Now, is that? Yeah, okay. Let's see which one it is. Is this the one? No. Maybe it's this one. It's got to be one of these. Yeah, it's the end one. And yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do a bit more flux onto that. Where did I put the flux? There we go. It's rolled off of the thing. Yeah, okay. I'll be back into Shakes of a Lamb's What's It. So I've got to go to the toilet all of a sudden. Right, I'm back. Okay. Right. What were we doing? I was putting flux on there, wasn't I? So I can clear the hole out. Okay, got there for the night. And Okay, maybe that will be a bit more stable. Why has my screen gone black again on the phone? This just isn't melting, this bit. There we go. Come on, unstick. Still not clearing. There's a component in there. Sure, that came out of there. It was in here. Why is there so much solder on this? That's it. Finally cleared it, I think. There's a component in there. So where did it come out? Why? This is taking far too long. Yeah, it's going to come out. Yeah. Came out there. All right, I'm giving up for the night. So it's almost 7 o'clock. Losing my patience on this. Can't quite see. I'm sure it was the end hole. Maybe not. So that one up there. Anyway, I'll do this in the morning, I think, or Tuesday rather. So thanks for watching. Sorry about the stupid start and YouTube or the computer mucking up. I mean, it's fine once it gets going, but getting it going is a bit of a problem. Okay. I'll speak to you next Sunday. I think we've got a meeting on Saturday. Yes, we've got a HRSA meeting, so anyone's welcome to come to them. If you're in Victoria, so it's down in Mulgrave. It's on the website, and yeah. So thanks for watching, and I'll say good night. Ow. Been sitting too long. My back has locked up. Where's the... Yeah, okay. So